anytime, anywhere. Access inspiration that never switches off. Stuck in traffic? Elevate your mood and own the moment. Just looking busy? Make every second count. Tap into Kingdom content instead. One tap, instant power, real transformation. Download the Elevate TV app now. Exclusively on Google Play. Parents, guardians, and youth leaders. This August, give your youth what truly matters, an encounter with God that will shape their destiny. Life Church International Youth Ministry presents the Radical Remnant Youth and Teens Camp 2025. From August 18th to 21st at Nova Pioneer, this year's theme is Level Up, Multiply Your Impact, featuring Apostle David Juma, pastors Vincent Kialo, Antonina Achieng, James Kimati, T. Mwangi, and many more anointed voices. It is not just a camp, it is a training ground for tomorrow's leaders, packed with worship, the word, mentorship, games, and godly friendships. All this at just 2,000 Kenyan shillings per person. To register, pay through M-Pesa till number 572671 and text your confirmation to Esther Mwende on 0742 736 450. Don't let your teen miss this life-shaping experience. Their purpose is waiting. Their fire starts here. Elevate TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the GG Report. I'm your host, Godfrey, Gichuki. This Friday evening, wherever you're watching from, viewers, karibuni, welcome and join us for this amazing conversation. Once again this evening, I have a special guest with me on the set, and I believe you're going to engage in this particular show. As usual, we are live on our social media handles, that is Elevate TV Kenya, Facebook and YouTube channels. Just in case you're watching from TV, you can switch to those channels or simultaneously, and make sure you share with your friends. And thank you for joining us. As usual, you know, the GG Report is a platform where we dive deep into matters and we maintain a bold and honest approach to issues. Today, we're going to be addressing ourselves to something that is going on right now, the issue of stadium chaos at the African Championship, the CHAN Championship, going on, games that are underway right now. Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania are hosting the African Championship, the cup of, it's called African Nations Championship. there have been some challenges on the part of Kenya's hosting this cup. We've seen chaos in the stadiums and all that. And my friend who is on the show here has actually addressed himself to those matters, and I'm going to be engaging him to tell us what's going on. So we think that this is a national shame that having been given such a huge opportunity, we are not able to manage, the whole thing, that we have allowed our usual chaos to come into this, and that's why today we want to engage. And please tell us what you think, what you've witnessed, if you've had a chance to go and watch the match in the stadium, Kasarani in particular. Please let us know what's going on there. All right, so welcome to the show, my brother, my friend. My guest is Leornard Khafafa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so as usual, Leornard Khafafa, some of you have seen him on my show before. He's a columnist with the Standard Group, with the Standard newspaper. So every week you should be able to read his articles, and whenever he actually posts his articles, he shares with me, and so I'm able to see what he's talking about. And so when he shared his article this week, I said, no, look, you need to come on the show and discuss with us. Leornard also has another very, very important, love of his life. He talks about airlines. He's an expert and a consultant in the, aviation industry, and he's an advisor and a consultant, well-traveled, very much aware of what's going on in that industry. And you will see when you read his articles that he will continue to comment on those areas. So he's a very, very well, rounded commentators on very, very interesting subject matter. So welcome to the show, Leornard. Of course, I think one of the things you need to address as you come onto the set is the fact that you are a journalist and as a business expert advisor in the aviation industry. So what are you dealing with right now? What let's touch a little bit of that before we come to the football. Update us on what's going on, what's trending.
Yeah, it's interesting that you raised that, because this morning we had a meeting with the KQ management team.
Yeah.
And we're just talking about the challenges of the aviation sector.
Right.
And the proposals to mitigate a lot of those challenges. It's exciting what KQ has. One of the challenges that they have had this year is constrained capacity. Constrained capacity in the sense that 3 of their planes that went in for scheduled maintenance were late in returning back to service.
Okay.
Not because of the fault of KQ, but because it's a global industry issue.
Okay.
Where you have all these planes coming up for scheduled maintenance, all going to workshops, particularly engine workshops, more or less at the same time.
Okay.
Constraining the capacity of those workshops to work on those engines and to return them to airlines in good time. Okay. So KQ has suffered that constraint. 3 planes were down at the beginning of this year, which brought their capacity, their operational capacity, down to 80%. Okay. And that may have I think there are implications on the bottom, or definitely implications on the bottom line of KQ. Okay. This year, when you're constrained by 80%, when you're constrained by 20%, for the better part of the year, then you will definitely feel it in terms of the bottom line of KQ. But we wait for their financials to see what they will look like. But one aircraft, I think, is now back to service. I think another one is scheduled to come back to service in September. And by the end of the year, the third one will have returned back to service fully. Okay. So KQ will be back now to full operation. Okay. Yeah, so those are basically the things that are happening within the global aviation industry. It's affecting almost every airline in the world. Okay. Advantage of the big airlines is that they are able to mitigate that by having redundancies in their fleets. Okay. So where you have an airline, say with 100 planes, 90 active, 10 are there for redundancy in the event that one goes to service and fails and delays in returning back to service. But an airline like KQ is strictly speaking considered a small airline with 34 planes. It does not have any redundancy. And the plan, which is why I'm saying it's exciting, the plan now is to grow that fleet.
Okay.
Possibly to double it in the next few years.
Okay.
So that some of these capacity constraints don't arise going into the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And you know, when you talk about KQ, 34 units,
Yes.
you know, we love our KQ. It's the pride of Africa. It's the pride of our nation. But we are a small fleet operator.
True.
Basically, if you are below 100 aircraft,
Yeah.
I think that's a small fleet. Anyway, be that as it may, let's talk about, you know, our subject matter today. The national embarrassment, the national shame of, you know, not being able to manage, you know, crowd control on this very, very important occasion when we are hosting the, you know, African Championship, that is African Nations Championship, right here in Nairobi. So you actually wrote an article and you addressed a number of things actually. The issue of managing queues, we saw people jumping queues, and then, you know, that became a major talking point. So I want you to jump into that. Apparently, you told me you haven't been to the stadium.
Yes.
So unfortunately,
Yeah.
yeah, so tell us what's going on. I know I will jump in and maybe just give a brief for some of our viewers, maybe if you're not aware, that Kenya is doing pretty well in the championship. We have won 2 matches, drawn 1, and we have got another match this Sunday against Zambia, and hopefully we win that match. We'll be in for the knockout stages. If we draw, we would have to be lucky that there are other match between Morocco and DRC. One of them gets eliminated or something like that. So we have to win our match or hope for a 0-0 draw or something worse, one team being knocked out. That's where we will be guaranteed to proceed. So it's very, very tricky for Kenyans this Sunday. Those of you who are football lovers, I think my suggestion is you find your way to Kasarani and make sure you cheer the Kenyan team very, very hard. But back to the logistics. You know that's your specialty. Yeah, you are in the logistics space. Airline is a very interesting, aviation is a very interesting industry. So what did you have in mind? What's your big argument?
I have one. Let me start with the positive. I think it's very exciting that there's a resurgence in terms of interest in Kenyan soccer.
All right.
Because for a long time, I think Kenyans have been more consumed by English Premier and other leagues for that come from foreign countries.
Yes.
More than say our local football.
Okay.
So this is I think one of those few times when there's actually a spark of interest in local soccer.
Yes.
In our national team and in the performance of our national team. That's a positive. It's a great thing. But the negative is the fact that we've allowed some bad manners to creep in, some bad culture,
right,
to creep into this this resurgence of football,
right.
And it's something that has been gradual. It's not something that has come up overnight. I mentioned earlier in our conversation, aside, that in the early 80s. Football was really popular. Local football was actually quite popular in Kenya, and it formed part of the weekend entertainment of many Kenyans. People would actually budget to purchase tickets to go watch soccer on Saturday or Sunday, as the case would be then, in relative safety. Football matches would finish, and the people would go home either disappointed or happy, depending on whether their team lost or won.
Right.
At some point, I think in the early 90s, we started seeing the specter of violence creeping up in soccer, particularly when it came to the big two in Kenya. That's Gor Mahia and the AFC Leopards, the perpetual football rivals.
Yes.
So we would see matches ending up in stone throwing and fisticuffs and that sort of thing within the stadium. And it looks like that habit has not been contained and is now coming up even more strongly than it did then. And it is sad because we are now in the international under the international spotlight. And when you begin to see the kind of chaos that came up last Sunday in full glare of international cameras,
right,
it does not forebode well for the country and for its ability to host other international matches.
Right.
So those are the things that now we need to address. But it's a culture. It's not a culture that is not just limited to football. There is a culture of me first, which I alluded to in the article that I wrote for the Standard this week.
Yes.
There's a culture of me first, and it's reflective in every aspect of our livelihoods. I talked about matatus and how in other jurisdictions where you have public transport, people form orderly queues,
right,
to board public transport. And the first on the queue is the one who's given priority in terms of boarding, and the second and the third, and so on and so forth. And it is said that the ability to queue is actually a mark of civilization. Yeah, it means you've come of age as a country.
Right.
You have certain norms and conventions that you adhere to, and that you practice in every aspect of your life and living. You go to the supermarket, you form a queue. The cashier still, so you pay, So you use public transport, you form a queue. So that, what we saw last Sunday, we saw people jumping queues. Actually, for going queues, there were actually no queues. And we saw people trying to force their way into the stadium, without tickets. Yeah, that is a mark of decivilization, if I can use the word that way.
All right,
Yes,
honestly, so Kenyans are rightly indicted as, Kenyans are very proud people, and we hold ourselves very highly. By the way, as a matter of fact, I think we consider ourselves to be, I think leaders in the region and in Africa in general. And you find Kenyans, in foreign spaces, very well organized, very civil, and very well mannered, and held in very high esteem, and very successful. So, but here at home, I'm sorry, we have not been into our best behavior. So that's very serious indictment. So tell us what you think about this. Is Kenya coming of age in terms of our civility? And civility is actually linked to civilization. So there's a very small line between ability to queue and our sense of we are mature republic, mature people, and we are cultured, and our norms are, up to this scrap. All right. So sorry to interrupt you, but I think it's very important for us to talk about that. Let's go back to that issue. So you're saying that that behavior seems to reflect not only in football but in other areas.
Correct. It's a bit scary because we've seen it on our roads, the me first culture, where people jump traffic lights, and that has necessitated policemen now coming to stand alongside traffic lights, to force adherence, which is self-defeating. I mean, you either have lights or you have policemen. You can't. It's a waste of resources to have two of them operating at the same time.
Both lights and policemen at the same time.
But then again, it speaks to a culture of impunity because it starts by jumping queues. Then it morphs into jumping traffic lights. Then it morphs into driving in the wrong direction. You've seen border borders, these motorcycles that we have within the city. We've seen them riding on pavements. We've seen them riding in the opposite, going against traffic. And under full glare of policemen.
Right.
So the fact that we allow this impunity to take place shows that our values as a society are decaying, and there are consequences. And one of the first consequences is the disregard of law and order. especially law enforcement. So when policemen allow borders or matatus to overlap, to drive on pavements, to go against traffic, when they allow those things, impunity begins to be emboldened.
Right.
And it begins to take root. Then impunity now leads to the disregard of the instructions of those policemen. And we've seen it. We've seen policemen try to stop borders and they just ride past.
Right.
So it's little wonder then that at last Sunday's events, there were policemen, but they were totally unable to control the crowds that came. I think I once did an article to the effect that there was a village in Zambia once upon a time where a big man wanted to address a gathering of about 10,000 villagers.
Okay.
And he simply drove into that remote village, looked for the local policeman and told him, look, tomorrow I want you to gather your villagers and I want you to bring them to this particular location, which is about 10 kilometers away. So one single policeman went, made an announcement, everyone turned up, and he said, today we are going to be addressed by this big man and we have to walk 10 kilometers. All 10,000 villagers followed a single policeman, went to, in a very orderly fashion, went to where that big man was. The big man addressed them, and afterwards the policeman asked them to go back to their homes, and they walked back to their homes in a very orderly fashion. It tells you that in that village, there was a respect for law and order. There was respect for law enforcement to the effect that the ratio of villagers to policemen, or rather the ratio of policemen to villagers was 1 to 10,000.
Right.
Out of respect, not out of brute force, not out of guns or coercion or anything, just respect for law enforcement.
That's true.
Which is what is now being eroded here. To the extent that now you need about 1,000 policemen to handle 2,000 Kenyans. It's a terrible thing. It will get to a point where policemen will no longer be regarded as a law enforcement, and people will just ride over them roughshod. But the consequences don't just remain within the country. They're not just restricted to this country alone. We suffer consequences even overseas. These bad driving habits that we have. Previously, with a Kenyan driving license, you could go to any foreign jurisdiction and hire a car and drive it there.
Right.
Go to Japan, drive your car in Japan, drive your car in the UK, drive your car in the US, Dubai, wherever you went, with your Kenyan driving license and perhaps an international driving license. But I'm told the Japanese realized that there were a number of accidents that were happening in a particular period. And when they put together their data, they realized that these accidents were being caused by Kenyans.
Okay.
So they put a ban on anyone holding a Kenyan driving license, and said, you know what? Unless you get trained and tested in a Japanese driving school, your driving license is by all intents and purposes useless. It's a piece of paper. So those are the consequences that we begin to feel on account of our impunity. Then the other one I foresee, which could possibly happen on account of our bad reputation, is being excluded from world events as individuals. Because we will want to fly out of the country to go and support our teams for World Cup. But the countries that issue visas will get advisories telling them that these Kenyans are hooligans and there are people who jump over walls of stadium, and there are people who don't buy tickets, and they are chaotic people. So that is a reputational risk that we create by some of these actions that we take at the stadium.
That is interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, as you follow this conversation, we are talking about, the culture of impunity, the national shame. And my guest here says that Kenyans used to drive without, with their licenses in Japan until they caused so many accidents. The data showed that all the accidents were coming from Kenyans, and the Japanese decided, no, those fellows don't qualify to drive without having to go through very stringent training and preparation. Actually, by the way, the Kenyan driving license all you needed in UK was to actually literally just fill forms and exchange your license with a local license.
Correct.
I did that myself. I did not have to go to a driving school when I was in the UK in the early 2000s. I went, applied, filled in the form, submitted copies of my DL, and I got a local license.
I actually did the same. In fact, I didn't even go all the way in terms of getting the local license.
Yes.
Because I'll be on and off in the UK.
Yes.
And at the time I was driving extensively through the UK.
Yes.
They allowed us, with I think for a limited period of time, I think something like about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yes.
To drive on the strength of the Kenyan driving license.
Yes.
Yeah, so I drove quite extensively in the UK. I drove extensively across the continent, all the way from, I would do cars from South Africa all the way to Africa, on the strength of a Kenyan driving license.
Yes.
Perhaps backed only by the AA, International Driving License, and nothing more.
Yes.
But I think things are changing.
Things are changing. Things are changing.
Yeah.
Kenyans, I think we need to realize that our behavior, our rather, unbecoming, let me use that word, our behaviors and, what the kind of culture we are demonstrating, a culture of impunity, actually has very, very serious consequences internationally, including exclusion. Maybe like, for example, there's going to be, the World Cup is coming in the US. Yes. I think in 2026, next year. Yeah. And so some of you might want to go and watch the football in the US and other countries, other nationalities across the globe. Yeah. They'll be getting, visas to go and watch football. There's no reason why that shouldn't happen. But guess what? That may be denied. So behaviors have consequences.
Correct.
So I want to take you back to the reference to the 90s and the kind of the cultural shift that took place, where you were no longer guaranteed safety if you went to a football stadium to watch a Kenyan match. Yeah. So how has that affected, the general, progress of the game and the whole industry? Because now, right now as we talk, I think every Kenyan is very, very sure. If you play football, you could become a millionaire overnight. Yeah. Yes. At least millions are being splashed around. Yes.
Yeah. Great question. Football is a lucrative industry. Let me call it an industry. Yeah. And part of the earnings that derive from football, are collections from get collections, where people pay to go and watch football matches. Yes. Then of course you have television broadcasting rights. Yes. And that sort of thing. And then you have sponsorship. So that's how football. That's sort of those are the sort of things that make money for football. Now, in the 80s, I think get collection fees were adequate in terms of supporting the football teams that used to play in the leagues. Okay. I think the get fees, those collections would be taken and divided amongst the teams in the football, the professional teams playing the leagues. But because of the violence, people started keeping away from stadia. Right. People would just stay home and either watch on TV, thus denying revenue to the stadia. Okay. And by extension to the teams that were participants in the local league. Yes. Or just simply switch to English Premier and La Liga and Bundesliga and all these other leagues that were being broadcast. Yes. And to me, that has been to the detriment of the development of local football. Okay. Because without funding, you can't build talent. And it's sad, really, that when we should have been up there with the best, because we started our football a long time ago. 70s, 80s, 90s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Yeah. We were always passionate about football, still are passionate about football. That passion should have translated to earnings. Right. Yeah, meaningful earnings. Yes. And I'll tell you how lucrative football can be. I've been in a city like Istanbul, I think I was in Istanbul in 2005 when a Champions League match, that's I think a European thing, Champions League match was played in Istanbul. And it was between Liverpool and AC Milan.
Okay.
AC Milan supporters came to Istanbul. And there were 30,000 AC Milan supporters.
Okay.
Flocking the city.
Wow.
Liverpool supporters also flew in same night.
Yes.
50,000.
Wow.
Hotels in Istanbul were full. The stadium was full, and the city earned a lot of money because people flew in a week in advance in anticipation of the games, booked hotels, ate food, celebrated, watched the match, and then left slowly.
Yes.
Yeah. Took about a week or so to leave. But it's instructive that in that entire period, there's no violence.
Zero.
You can imagine 80,000 supporters, yeah?
Yes.
Meeting in the streets.
Yes.
One team has won, the other has lost.
Yes.
But no clashes, no violence, nothing. Just goodwill, camaraderie amongst these people. Because for them, it was football that they had come to see.
Yes.
Not other sideshows. So we should be at par, or at least somewhere close.
Wow.
We should be having sporting events, that football events that can attract at least 50 or 60,000 foreign supporters coming in on a weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Spending their money here, paying hundreds of dollars in terms of gate fees.
Right.
Just to watch these matches.
That's true.
So that's how we build.
Yes.
And that is what we have forgone.
Absolutely.
Because of this bad culture.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now we're going to take a short break, but as you can tell, culture issues to do with our uncultured behavior has very serious consequences, and I hope that we can all learn the lessons and look at the opportunities that are being lost in our very unbecoming behavior. So when we come back, we're going to return to that conversation. Please keep following this conversation. Thank you, Christine Mwende. You're watching, and the other people that are watching on the YouTube side of things. And we'll come back. We'll come back and talk about what are the measures that can be taken, and maybe how can we make a difference? How can we actually improve the economy of this nation through this sort of events, and how can we shift our culture? All right, so don't go away. Take a break and let's come back to this conversation.
Parents, guardians, and youth leaders. This August, give your youth what truly matters, an encounter with God that will shape their destiny. Life Church International Youth Ministry presents the Radical Remnant Youth and Teens Camp 2025. From August 18th to 21st at Nova Pioneer, this year's theme is Level Up, Multiply Your Impact, featuring Apostle David Juma, pastors Vincent Kialo, Antonina Achieng, James Kimati, T. Mwangi, and many more anointed voices. It is not just a camp. It is a training ground for tomorrow's leaders, packed with worship, the word, mentorship, games, and godly friendships. All this at just 2,000 Kenyan shillings per person. To register, pay through M-Pesa till number 572671 and text your confirmation to Esther Mwende on 0742 736 450. Don't let your teen miss this life-shaping experience. Their purpose is waiting. Their fire starts here.
What does church growth mean? Does it mean pastor becoming fat? Church growth means allowing God to do his work through his people. What makes this impossible?
It begins with you as a pastor. You give somebody a responsibility. You are the chairleader for the women ministry.
Yes.
You are the chairman of the men's ministry.
Yes.
But this guy has not been trained. What is the role of a chairman? The pastor needs to have a plan. Where am I taking this congregation?
There is no room in that church for you to hide. There is no room for you to bask and do nothing.
Let the church be a church of small groups, not a church with small groups. Plan to grow.
Yes.
And pay the price.
Welcome back. This is the Gigi Report. We are talking about, chaos in the Africa Championship matches, stadium chaos, and the national embarrassment that has produced. And before we went to the break, my guest here is we were addressing the issue of that challenge of culture, that somehow has come out, and I think it's really the right time for us to ask ourselves very, very hard question as a nation. I mean, this is becoming very embarrassing. People jumping queues and confusion at the stadium, and people that had not paid for their tickets into the African Championship that is ongoing at Kasarani in our stadium here. And so that really has revealed a lot of things. And we want to ask ourselves in this second part of this conversation, how can we resolve some of these cultural issues? What needs to happen? How do we change the Kenyan culture? Now that some of the truth is coming out, that we are not as civil as we've been pretending to be. In fact, as a matter of fact, and I want you, Leonard, to respond to this. Is it even possible for some of these political parties to have their primaries, given that the same culture which we are manifesting in our football could actually then come manifest itself, and you have chaos, in those kind of elections. So there is a real problem. How do we address these matters?
Yeah. To answer your question about political parties, I don't think it's possible for them to actually have credible grassroots elections.
Yes.
Because from precedent, we've seen these events marred by chaos, marred by, again, the me first culture, where certain a culture of entitlement creeps in, and there are those who feel they automatically deserve some of these grassroots posts, or some of these selective posts.
Yes.
That owe their nominations to the grassroots. We've seen that culture of entitlement creeping in. But talking about football and what needs to be done, I think the first and foremost cultural reset that we need to make as Kenyans is to learn to develop a culture of planning in advance.
Okay.
Kenyans are not planners.
All right.
Kenyans are reactionary. They don't anticipate what events will be in future and plan accordingly. They react to the events as they're happening.
Okay.
And even drawing from my experience with airlines, there's an airline that I advised many years ago, one of those European airlines who wanted to come in here. They came and they set up, and they had, I think, daily flights out of the country. And it got to a season where they started cancelling these daily flights, and we asked them why they were cancelling, and they were like looking at the bookings 6-month bookings, they could see, look at 6-month bookings, they could see that certain periods had gaps.
Yes.
And planes were not being fully filled. And we are told them that the Kenyan practice is unlike the European one, where a European can purchase a ticket a year in advance.
Right.
Yeah, and it becomes a habit for a whole lot of them, so that they can even fill a plane a year in advance.
Right.
Kenyans are last-minute people.
Right.
You want to travel, you book a ticket for travel tomorrow, today, you know. Yeah, you've known all along that you will travel, but
yes.
You book just a day before.
Right.
Yeah, so we advised that airline that they should restore those frequencies, because it was quite possible that planes would fill even at the 24th minute, you know, at the last, rather at the 11th hour.
Right.
And they did. And it so happened that that was what it became. But that habit also translates to our football. We know that there's a match on Sunday. It's been advertised for maybe a month or so. Why do we wait until Sunday morning to begin to look for the ticket? When we've had a whole month in advance, yeah?
Wow.
And then when we don't get that ticket on Sunday morning, we become frustrated, and then we turn up at the stadium and try and force our way through.
Yes.
That's the culture that we need to reset.
Wow.
Where we plan even 2 or 3 months in advance, where we make our purchases 2 or 3 months in advance, so that on the actual day, we have our tickets into the stadium.
Right.
Yeah, so that's one place that needs a reset. The other, of course, is this foregoing traditional ways of ticket vending. Right. Where you have to have the hard physical ticket. Right. Yeah, purchased from somebody. There are better ways of doing things now. We have technology. Why don't we leverage technology? Okay. Why don't we sell soft tickets that can be vetted through QR codes or whatever to determine whether they're genuine or not? Why don't we use technology to do that? Right. So that this habit of now rushing to the stadium to buy hard tickets is obviated by the fact that we've bought them soft and we can have them scanned for easy entry into the stadium. Right. Then, of course, turning up early for football match. Kickoff, I think, is between 3 and 4, or is it usually 4 o'clock? Why do we have to wait until 3:30 now to try and access the stadium? When in other jurisdictions where there are mammoth crowds, gates are open fairly early, 3 or 4 hours in advance, and fans actually turn up those 3 or 4 hours in advance. Those who drink, of course, now will drink on the outside until the 3rd hour, then walk into the stadium sober. I mean, relatively capable of watching a match. Yeah. Why do we have to wait until 3:30? And then 10,000 of us now want to storm the stadium, jumping over walls, overrunning the security. So the other aspect that I think we will want to look into is the infrastructure. All right. Of sporting. Yeah. I know there is Talanta Stadium and other stadia that are coming up. Yeah. That have been purpose built to handle mammoth crowds. Yeah. Yeah. The facilities we have, like near Stadia, City Stadium, and perhaps even Kasarani, are a little small for a little too small to handle the kind of demand that this resurgent interest in Kenyan football is creating. All right. We need to expand our infrastructure. Wow. To accommodate these crowds. We can do 60,000, we can do 70, 80,000, stadia. So that's the thinking that now we need to adopt, so that we don't have a situation where you have 60,000 people trying to occupy a facility that is meant for half the number. That's true. Yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah. A cultural reset. That's a very, very interesting, observation that we actually do need a cultural reset in many, many ways. I mean, you're talking about, and it seems to affect us across the board. Whether you talk about our behaviors in travel, buying tickets last minute, whether you're talking about our holiday, whether you're talking about showing up at the stadium, you have
10,000 people queuing outside the stadium 30 minutes before the start of the match. Kenyans, I think we need to straighten ourselves out. That's not how to do business, and it is actually practically impossible. If you have 10,000 fans waiting to enter a stadium 30 minutes before the start of the match.
Correct.
That actually creates chaos.
Correct.
Absolutely chaotic. Yes, the issue of infrastructure, I think you are absolutely right. Maybe just to let Kenyans know that Talanta Stadium is underway. And so that, what do you see like some of the impact of the fact that we are hosting this match? What do you see some kind of shift in the way we are going to be treating some of these events or something?
I think it has been a good opportunity to learn how we ought to conduct ourselves, because this is, I think, epic. I don't think we've ever had it as big in terms of football. So this is an opportunity to learn and to learn from our mistakes, particularly over the past couple of weeks. If we can rectify those mistakes going forward, this Sunday perhaps and the other matches to come, then we stand the chance of hosting even bigger events.
Right.
I think there's an event coming up. Is it in 2027?
2027 actually.
Yes.
The same three countries.
Yes.
We've been awarded the rights to host the other CAF, the other championship. That is the Cup of Africa Nations.
That's right.
Cup of Africa football.
Yes.
That is the senior one.
Correct.
Where and I think it's good to tell our viewers that the difference between what we are having now and the other CAF is that this particular championship allows only locally based players. Now the other one, which is the Cup of Africa football, allows championship national teams to bring in even their foreign players, so that then becomes even more competitive. And that's why Kenya is doing very well, but I think in 2027 we better have our act together. So that's the difference. And the fact that we've been given an opportunity to host this and also host the next one in 2027, that's a great opportunity.
There's something that I need to actually also mention in terms of this cultural reset.
Yes.
We need to learn how to separate our football or our sporting events from our politics or from other aspects of Kenyan life.
Right.
I think it's been said that one of the reasons that those restrictions in terms of numbers entering the stadium was born out of fear that they would culminate in political sloganeering. We have all this sloganeering to the one-term or two-term effect.
Right.
And it's based on the political proclivities of Kenyans.
All right.
And Kenyans now need to learn to separate business from politics, sports from politics, so that the country can move forward.
Right.
If we decide that if our culture is to politicize each and everything,
right,
then we get held back and we can't move forward.
Okay.
Businesses get held back. Sporting activities get held back. But when there's a distinction, when there is a delineation between politics and football, or economics and football, or business and football, or rather, beg your pardon, when there's a separation between politics and football, politics and economics, or politics and business, then it enables us to advance. And we should take cue from sporting activities that have been very successful in this country and that don't have the specter of violence.
Yes.
We should take cue from boxing, for instance.
Right.
Yeah. Boxing is an old sport. It has happened. It has been organized in Mashinani, in Mtaa.
Yes.
And there's never been any specter of politics about it.
Right.
We should take cue from athletics. Yeah, we have world champions living in our ranks.
Yes.
When they compete, when they are doing their preliminaries, when they go to stadia, they run. They compete.
Right.
They win or they lose, they are selected.
Right.
And they advance. And when they get to the international arena, we cheer them as Kenyans.
Right.
Without any one-term or two-term proclivity. Yeah. Why don't we bring the same to football?
Okay.
Why don't we make a clear separation? Why don't we have a culture of clear separation of issues? Where we know that there'll be a place for one term, there'll be a place for two term, but just not in that sporting arena.
Okay.
Yeah, so that I think is an important cultural reset that we must attend to, or we must adhere to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if we have to move forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a demand for a cultural reset that learns to separate matters, matters economy, matters sporting, matters politics, and keep those two things, some of those domains separate, and so that then we can give the football, for example, we need to bring back the fun.
Yeah.
We need to bring back the whole fanfare without injecting it with our local politics. So that's a major indictment on our on our culture. So maybe before we exhaust that particular one, maybe we can talk about the same issues touching other areas of our, some of the reactions that we've seen from, for example, Chan, before we, as we wrap that up, and then maybe we can address the other issue you raised about, Gen Z, and we still have to mention Gen Zs in this particular conversation. The whole idea of the international organization, the Africa Championship, sanctioning Kenyans. I don't know whether that is a matter that how that can be addressed, because apparently we may actually then get charged, or maybe the fans are removed from attending the matches in the stadium.
Yeah, my understanding is that we've already been fined, and the fines are pretty stiff.
Okay.
Yeah, it means Kenya will, I think it's FKF, will bleed a little.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you're talking of tens of thousands of dollars,
okay,
in terms of fines, it's not a small thing. And it sets back the development of local soccer a little bit. Then, of course, as you've also rightly mentioned, there is that matter of restricted numbers in the stadium. A stadium now that should hold comfortably 40 or 50,000 people, I'm told there will be restrictions in terms of numbers to about 27,000.
Okay.
Again, that is to the detriment of our soccer, because it means fans who would want to have that feel of live soccer will be denied the opportunity.
Yes.
Live international soccer will be denied the opportunity. But more ominous is the fact that we could lose our rights to host some of these matches.
Okay.
Which would undo the work of 3, 4, 5 years.
Okay.
The concerted effort of the three countries, three East African countries, to put together this a series of football tournaments. It could undo it in just one fell swoop.
Okay.
Yes. So those are the imminent dangers that we face.
Okay.
If we do not address our bad manners.
Okay.
Right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you follow this conversation, I am hosting here my friend Leornard Khafafa, and he's a journalist. He's a columnist with the Standard newspaper, and we've discussed many matters in previous shows, but today we are talking about the culture, the national embarrassment, the national shame that has become our lack of order, in how we handle our issues, and that is something that must be addressed. And my guest here is suggesting that we need to have a cultural reset. Now, coming back to the good old, we have to touch a bit of politics. You also did raise the issue of Gen Zs being feted at State House as part of efforts to also kind of bring some kind of healing and restoration, and there has been a lot of vibe. Before we close, I think we need to comment on that. What is your take? What's going on in that space? Because I think we still haven't finished our conversation between the president and the Gen Zs. Yes.
I think that was in my view, that was a laudable charm offensive on the part of the president.
Yes.
Because you notice that the salient cry of Gen Zs has been to occupy State House.
Right.
Right from the first protests of the first finance bill protests of 2024.
Yes.
To the protests this year.
Right.
Of 2025.
Okay.
Finance bill protests this year. The salient cry was to occupy State House.
Okay.
So demystifying State House.
Right.
By allowing this Gen Z to access the precincts of State House, to fit them on the lawns of State House, to have face-to-face interactions with the president himself.
Yes.
Has actually demystified State House and the president itself. It has made him seem more human, it has made him seem less removed from the people than was perceived initially.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think to the Gen Z, the president had come across as aloof and elitist.
Okay.
And just obsessed with designing policies that were completely removed from the populace.
Okay.
But these interactions have thawed the forced tensions or the forced relationships that the tension in the relationships that the president has had with Gen Z. And it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I know in my article I said that some university dons had derided the fact that the president has given gifts to Gen Z. Motorcycles, I think, for borders and smoky trolley carts for small businesses. I mean, it looks small. I mean, it looks like a step back in the sense that we ought to be industrializing rather than obsessing with the small startups.
Okay.
But to me, it's not a wasted effort. You've got to start from someplace.
Right.
And whilst the country is still looking for solutions to industrialization,
right.
The Gen Z are here hungry, sleeping hungry. They have nothing to do, and they need to be given something to do in the interim as we wait for these lofty solutions to be put in place.
Okay.
We are looking at them in terms of, from a policy perspective, this is a short-term intervention.
Right.
That is immediate, has some immediacy that Gen Zs can take and run with, and perhaps keep them moving as they wait for more sustainable long-term interventions to come.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was it was laudable in my view. It was really laudable.
Yeah, I think one of the things, people who don't want to think practically, they may actually misunderstand the gesture, of the president, and the whole idea of, he talked about bottom-up economic approach. Look after the guy at the very bottom.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And Nairobi is a city of hustlers, so that is correct. So I think things are turning around, and I hope that we can all take advantage of the opportunities that are clearly being availed. So before we come to the end of that, let's talk about maybe the long-term economic turnaround that can actually help this nation. Your expertise is in the aviation industry. Are there other industries that, and this is a question I think I've asked you previously, are there other areas, what do you call low-hanging fruit? What are those areas where this administration and leaders, our leaders, because and I'll call them our leaders because there are so many people out there who have the capacity to influence policy. What are the other areas that you think there are huge opportunities, but Kenyans are not they are not directing their energies in those directions?
We've spoken before. We've said as we wait for industries to be set up, because the challenge, the unique challenge with our industries is the cost of power.
Okay.
Yeah, cost of power is exorbitant, and we've talked about the cost of power relative to countries like Ethiopia. Yeah, our power here is anything in the range of 15 US cents per kilowatt hour.
Okay.
To 20-30 US cents per kilowatt hour, when Ethiopia is able to give its industries power at 4 US cents per kilowatt hour. So we are uncompetitive on account of power, and it's a solution that has been sought across 3 administrations: the Kibaki administration, the Kenyatta administration, and the Ruto administration now is actually tackling that thorny problem of the cost of power.
Okay.
Of course, related to that is the fact that I think we are getting to our installed capacity in terms of power. So we must look for new sources of power, or rather, we must expand our power generation within the country, perhaps double or triple it, so that we can attract the industries that we need on board to provide employment opportunities for this Gen Z and others. But as you asked whether they were low-hanging fruit, I say yes. I say we have one of our greatest assets is the abundance of our human resource. We have an abundance of labor, and we have an abundance of skilled labor, of educated labor. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
And we can harness this labor through avenues that don't require a lot of power. Technology, for instance.
Right.
Yeah, we've talked about business processing, outsourcing. I think we don't nearly have enough of those call centers and other aspects of BPOs that we can set up and not only provide services for this country or for the continent, but for other countries as well. India, Bangladesh have actually grown on the backbone of BPOs. And they've done very well. These are foreign exchange earners, huge foreign exchange earners.
All right.
So that is a low-hanging fruit. Then, of course, services industry, which we excel at, putting up more infrastructure to absorb that service industry. We have hotels here. In fact, I'm told that we have a shortage, actually, of chefs and waiters in Kenya because the world has suddenly realized that Kenya has highly skilled chefs and highly skilled waiters trained. And they have been absorbed on cruise ships to the extent that now hotels here are suffering. Why don't you train a lot more? Why don't we open a lot more establishments here within tourism that can absorb that labor? Because it is really appreciated globally. We have a serving attitude. We are like Filipinos. You know, Filipinos have grown on account of the service industry.
Yes.
Then, of course, banking and insurance. Which we are doing. We are spreading across the region, and we are becoming the hub, actually the regional hub of banking and insurance. And I spoke some time, and I said that London and Hong Kong have grown not because of manufacturing so much, but because of the banking and insurance industry. Even here in Kenya, we insure with the Lloyd's of London. Kenya always insures its planes with Lloyd's of London. That is insurance, you know.
Yes.
Then we have all these banks. There was a time when the LIBOR, I think the London Interbank offer rate, was a standard of a metric by which loans were valued and given out. You refer to the LIBOR to get your rate in terms of the loans that you wanted to give out. Why? Because London is a banking center. It's a financial center. Hong Kong is a financial center. Absolutely no reason why Nairobi shouldn't follow suit and become a financial center modeled along the lines of London and Hong Kong. Yeah. So those are the low-hanging fruit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We are out of time. I just want to acknowledge those of you that have been following this conversation on the social media handles here at YouTube. Karen Kibuchi also watching. Busolo and Karen Mwihaki. You've been following this conversation, and others. Thank you very much indeed. On the Facebook side of things, let me just check before we wrap up. I don't want to leave any of you out of this conversation. Thank you so much. Carson Samuel, it's becoming hard to be a Kenyan. It's becoming a disadvantage to identify yourself as a Kenyan internationally. That is a problem. And like my guest here is suggesting, Kenya needs a reset in every area, and including a cultural reset, separating politics from other businesses. And there's also, become proactive, civil, and plan in advance. So there are very many glaring things, but I think exposure obviously means that now we can bring some healing.
Yeah, true.
So there we are. Thank you so much. Maybe you can just look at that camera and give your parting shot as we wrap up. Yeah,
Kenyans, we have a great country, arguably one of the greatest countries in this world. The best climate, great people. Why don't we put some of these petty differences aside and just come together as Kenyans, take pride in being Kenyan, cheer our football teams as Kenyans, cheer our sporting facility as Kenyans without any of these divisions that politics brings. So that's my parting shot. Let's come together as Kenyans. As we go watch football on Sunday, let's put every difference aside and let's cheer our team, our national team.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. We are out of time, and thank you for staying tuned in. And this is an exciting season in our country. May the Lord bless you, and keep patriotic, and stay safe and follow the cues. And may the Lord bless you so much. We'll see you another day on this same channel. Keep it Elevate TV, and God bless you. See you next Friday. Bye for now.